All right, I wanted to do a quick share of what I've been riding lately. This is the real Cathedral Ishod Wear Pro model. It's an 8125, 14.25 inch wheelbase, and 32-inch overall length. I just really like the way this board has been treating me. I've been working on a lot of tricks. I've got pop shove-its down, I've got 180s down, I've got no complies coming back, and plenty of kickflip practice on this deck. At this point, it's about 3 months old for me. Still going strong, still plenty of pop, no cracks, no chips. Show you the tail. Starting to get a little bit of razor tail, not too bad. Plenty of life left in this deck. We've got the independent hollows. These are 139, so an 8-inch truck on a 8.12 board. OJ 95A Nomad shape elite wheels with bone ceramics bearings. So why did I do 95A wheels? I ride in my cul-de-sac a lot. The asphalt is not great, and these help soak up some of that rough terrain, and they're fast enough in the park. So I have tried dragon wheels. They're awesome on the asphalt, and they were just too slow in the park for me. They were grabby. Admittedly, I'm not doing a lot of grinds and slides, so the slide ability of the dragons wasn't too big of an issue for me in the park. These Nomads act like a harder wheel in the park and still offer some absorption when you're on rough asphalt or rough terrain. So I've really liked them. They're 53 millimeters. And the Nomad shape has been great as well. It's a little bit wider than a Spitfire Classic, say, and has a little bit of a lock-in shape to it. They've been great. One of the first things I noticed about this board when I got it was how much pop it had. I was coming from a girl twin tail and pretty flat concave on that board. This board's got the typical kind of deluxe. I love this concave. I don't know, they say not too steep, not too mellow. It's a perfect concave. But overall, it's held up well. It's gotten launched into things. There's no chips, there's no cracks, there's no pressure cracks. For the trucks, I do have the replacement independent orange bushings. I had the issue with these trucks, where I cracked the bushings on them almost immediately. And I didn't tighten them down. I gave them time to break in, but the top washer was cutting into the bushing as I was riding. So I replaced those bushings. These trucks aren't that old. So I'm really loving the real Cathedral deck. I will probably step back up to an 825 when I'm done with this one. This board still has plenty of life left in it, and I really want to get my first kickflip landed with this deck. I've been practicing a lot on kickflips, and I'm almost there. So I don't want to get rid of this deck until that happens. All right, the last and arguably most important part of the setup is the shoes. And I've been riding these Tiago 1010s for about 6 months. So I'll give you a quick rundown. This is my flicking foot. Starting to see some wear on the toe, and the rubber starting to wear away from my kickflip practice. The suede has held up great. I'd give these durability 9 out of 10. I mean, 6 months of riding. Admittedly, I'm not doing a ton of flip tricks and a ton of complex stuff, but these shoes have really held up. Comfort is an 8 out of 10 for me. That fuel cell shock absorption in the midsole is just amazing. I'm getting older, my knees hurt after I'm done skateboarding. I need the comfort, I need the shock absorption. These shoes definitely help me skate longer relative to something like a Vans or a thinner sole shoe. Probably one downside is the price of these shoes, the MSRP at $110 US. If you can find them on sale, which is what I do, grab them for $80. That's probably the best price I've seen, and it's well worth the money. The last maybe negative is a fit. I've got to get a size 9 in these shoes, and I wear a 9.5 in almost everything else. New Balance shoes, for whatever reason, the 9.5s are way too big, and the 9s fit pretty snug for the first 2 or 3 sessions. It might take a week or so for them to break in. And these shoes had a little bit longer break-in time. They are a pretty thick cup sole shoe. Once they break in, they're amazing. They have plenty of flex. You know, they still bend. They don't have a lot of lateral flex, which is good if you have ankle problems or want that little bit of extra support. And overall, that comes out to 7.75 out of 10. Love these shoes. I'll be skating more pairs. I've got a few on the way. So that about wraps it up for the real Ishod Cathedral deck. I'm really enjoying that deck. Let me know what you've been riding and what works for you. Until the madness takes over.